Hey, what's up guys? Houston here. Look, do you have bad credit? Have you just started your startup or your LLC or your DBA and you're trying to find the best business credit card that you can work with? If that's so, I'm going to talk to you about Capital One and why I also think that Capital One business credit cards are better than Navy Federal. All right, because I know a lot of people trying to get a Navy Federal business credit card and things of that nature. However, I'm going to break down to you why I think you really should be looking at the Capital One first. Now, if you have bad credit or at least a 580 credit score, then the credit card you want to be looking at is this Capital One Spark Classic. All right. Now, the reason is, again, it's a 580 credit score. Now, I do understand that most people have the concern because with Capital One, they pull all three credit bureaus. However, most people are not aware that you can actually lock one or two of your credit bureaus and they'll only pull from one. All right? So many people are not even aware of that. Another thing is that with Capital One business credit cards, usually they report on the personal side as well as the business side. Now, one of the things about it, you see these here green cards here. Usually when you open up one of these green cards, usually they will not report on the personal side if it's a brand new account. Okay. Now, if it's an existing account, they will continue to report. However, if it's a brand new account, they state that they will not be reporting, all right? So that you can just clear up some of the confusion. Now, again, why Capital One? The reason is because Capital One, when you're banking with them, all right? So when you bank, say that you open up a business bank account or you just have the credit cards, right? So you just have the credit card. It's because they actually report to the business credit bureaus, all right? Now, in terms of the business credit bureaus, I'm talking about like Experian, Facts, Small Business Financial Exchange, and that information is shared with Dun and Bradstreet. Now, some people may ask, well, do I need to have established business credit? Now, the answer to that is no. You do not have to have established business credit in order to get one of these business credit cards from Capital. You do not have to have established business credit. So what do I mean by that? That means that you don't have to have a DUNS number. You don't have to have a Paydex score. You don't have to have net 30s in order to get this business credit card. So a brand new business with a 580 credit score, that's where you would start out. This is the easiest credit card. Now, one of the things I would tell you that people may not be aware of, because the business side is separated from the personal side, you may have defaulted on a personal account with Capital One, and they may look over that and still give you a business credit card. The reason I say that, because I have clients that have had a charge-off with Capital One, and I talked to somebody internally that actually works for Capital One, and she told me this as well, that if the account, the charge-off is over a year old, you can get a new account. That's the reason, like some people, they one account will go into collections, and then they'll end up with a brand new account with Capital One, although they have another account in collections. So that's the reason I'm telling you, although you may have had an account that went into default, that still does not disqualify you from actually getting a credit card with Capital One. Why I think that Capital One is better than Navy Federal? Here's the thing about it. One, you have to join Navy Federal, okay? And for some people, that's like pulling teeth, all right? Now, in terms of not only joining Navy Federal, you also have to put in an application for your business, all right? Now, in terms of Navy Federal being more restrictive or more conservative on the business side, right? Because if you have the wrong NA code, they may turn your business down, right? Where with Capital One, say that you're even in real estate, Capital One may still give you a business credit card, okay? They still may give you a business credit card, even though you have the word real estate or investment in the name. You still may qualify for a business credit card. If you have the word real estate investment in the name and going over to Navy Federal, they more likely will turn you down because it's a high risk NAICS code. Okay. Now another thing, like with Navy Federal, when it comes to business credit card, they do a hard pull on your FICO 9. Okay. That being said, one other thing about it is that they also don't report. So where Capital One actually reports, Navy Federal does not report your business trend. Okay. So that's the reason I tell you guys that sometimes I know, and you may have a Navy Federal account, and I'm not telling you to get rid of them. Keep them. They're great for funding. However, you have to keep in mind, if you want to build up your business credit, if you want to be able to get access to more business funding, then you have to deal with one of the major banks, and one of the major banks is Capital One because they report to the business credit bureaus. Now, here's a key secret that people are not aware of and that I continue to tell people. When it comes to opening up your business bank account, it's very important to make sure that you're either doing weekly or daily deposits. The purpose for this is it helps the business bank rating. Now, there's one other key thing that you guys should know, that when it comes to applying for business credit cards and stuff, I don't care any type of business credit card, you do not want to use a Yahoo email, a AOL email, a AT&T email. The reason is those type of emails, they're going into this database that lets them know that this is a high risk. For whatever reason, those type of emails are in a high risk factor, right? So not saying that you won't get the card, but I'm just letting you know that you're going into a high risk factor. That's the reason it's important for you to have an established website. Okay, if you don't know how to get access to established website in the corporate email, click the link in the description, because this is more important than Dun and Bradstreet. Okay, these basic elements are more important than Dun and Bradstreet. All right, so you starting out with a credit card that all you need is a 580, and it's an unsecured credit card. That's something to really help businesses. Well, there's a couple other credit cards. Now, you have Corpay. Okay, so Corpay reports to the business credit bureaus as well. Experian, Equifax, and shared with Dun and Bradstreet also. Now, with the Corpay card, all you need is a 600. Now, they do pull Experian 8. However, it is a net 21. So that means that when you use the card, they usually give you a net 21 billing date in order to pay the card off. So it's like a charge card, so you have to pay it in full. But because it actually reports to the business credit bureau, it's one of the best investments you can have. Now, there's another card that I would tell you as a startup or new LLC, and again, for those of you that don't want to go the net 30 route and you just trying to start building up your business credit and stuff like that, you also have the A to B gas card. Now, with the A to B gas card, the interesting thing about the A to B gas card is that it does report to Experian Business. See, your core three business credit bureaus are Experian, Equifax, and Small Business Financial Exchange. Small Business Financial Exchange actually is more important than Experian and Equifax. But a lot of people are not aware of this. You're going to be going after American Express, okay? Because American Express offers a pre-qual. Now, the key with American Express that I like, you should apply for a personal credit card first, and then apply for a business credit card. Now, the business credit cards you want to go after is not the American Express Gold, nor is the American Express Platinum. If you can, stay away from those cards, especially if you don't want to pay a high fee, annual fee. The cards you want to go for is the American Express Blue Business Cash or the American Express Blue Business Plus card. These are the two cards that you should be taking a look at. Now, that being said, why? It's because they charge you 0 interest, okay, on purchases. So that means that you're paying dollar for dollar. And the good thing about it with American Express Business, they do report to the Small Business Financial Exchange. Now, the difference is with American Express, you need to be about a 660 credit score to be able to qualify for their business credit cards. All right, so that's something you should know. But again, you don't have to have a perfect credit in order to get their business credit cards. But these two cards here, these are your best American Express business credit cards. Now, if you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off of the credit report, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.